So where are we right now?
Where are we right now? We're at the Queer Comics Expo 2019 here at the Cartoon Art Museum. That's where we are.
And what do you have here?
Well, I have comics and coloring books of LGBTQAIU interest, including the Lambda Literary Award nominated We're Still Here, the world's first all-transgender comics anthology, and our line of popular LGBTQ coloring books, which feature all real-life individuals and include short biographies for those people who want to learn more about the people they're coloring.
Nice. And you're the artist?
I am the publisher and contributing artist and editor on many of these books here, the publisher of them all. And we have a couple of projects in the works and a couple of books yet to come back from the printer. We just finished a Transgender Heroes coloring book. And soon we'll be publishing an anthology devoted to the theme of queer first love. It's called Free Crush, and it will be out in July of 2019.
My name's Maya Kobabe, and I am a queer cartoonist, and I am happy to be the spotlight guest this weekend, and also the emerging artist who has art on the wall at the Cartoon Art Museum right now. It's up through July 1st, 2019. If you're watching this around the time that we filmed it, you can come in and see it in San Francisco.
Nice. What is it all about?
So these are pages from my very first graphic novel, Genderqueer and Memoir. There are some pencil pages behind me, which is some of the first versions of the pages, and there are some digital prints, which are how the book looks in print. Maybe we can start here. This is some of the very first pages in the book. This talks about my experience of going to grad school at California College of the Arts, which is also here in San Francisco, and the very first time a teacher sort of challenged me to write about gender, and I found that experience at the time very, very uncomfortable. I was not ready to share such intimate work, especially with a group of classmates that I had hardly even met. And if you scoot down, you can see how the pages look in color in the book. We chose a limited color palette, and I think it really pops, and I'm really excited to sort of like to explain also in a book that it is talking about really intimate experiences, that is not always easy, and it's also not something people are always ready to do right away.
Yeah, it's very nice.
So these ones are some pages talking about how I experienced or visualized gender when I was in high school. And I definitely, one of the first ways I thought about it was this feeling of feeling half and half, which is something as I've grown up and gotten a more nuanced idea about gender identity, I don't relate to as much now, but I really wanted to include it because it's kind of where I started. It was the first way that I understood gender, and so I do think it's a really important part of my development. And a lot of people conceive of their gender at one way in their life at one point and do end up shifting to like a different way of visualizing it later on, and I think that's perfectly fine and actually very natural and healthy and wonderful. These aren't as much to look at, especially probably in the video, but this is what the pages look like in the very earliest draft. This is what my thumbnails look like. They have very humble, scribbly beginnings. And after this, it goes into the computer, and I do the more finished pencils, and I inked this book digitally, and then the colors were actually done by my sibling, Phoebe Kobabe. And in the end, you get this beautiful, much more finished version. The pages that were up on the wall. There they are in the book.
My name is Ted Abenheim. I am president of Prism Comics. It's Prism. We're a nonprofit, all-volunteer organization supporting LGBTQ plus comics and comics creators. We're really thrilled to be here at the Queer Comics Expo, and we represent everybody from independent creators to mainstream publishers and creators.
How many artists do you have?
Well, we are kind of there for everybody, so anybody who joins us, we're an advocacy organization, we're not a publisher, so we go to places like Comic-Con, we have creators sign with us. Many of the people that are here at the Queer Comics Expo have been in our booth. So we provide a safe, open space for queer comics creators and readers, and so we'd like to help people network. The website's prismcomics.org, P-R-I-S-M. It's here on the mug. Prism Comics, Superior, and so we're open. We go to conventions and we invite people to sign with us. We're Career Central at Comic-Con and other shows around, and that's what we do.
My name is Diego Gomez, and I have a bunch of comics and books and stickers, letters, and a little mini magazine. So first I have Hardfam X-Men, so it's my X-Men fashion illustrations. Then I have 1963 is Not an End but a Beginning, and it's a civil rights comic book about 1963. So it takes you like from January through December of the whole year in like different art styles. Here's a 3D page. I have stickers. Selena, a little leather guy with things. And I have Daddy Issues magazine, which are these. Right now we're on issue 4. And I'm also working on a comic book of my drag character Trangela Lansbury in Hell, where she puts all the contestants in like a kind of RuPaul's Drag Race in Hell kind of thing. So right now I'm working on the what's it called? The like challenge where they're all in their costumes. In the I forget the word of it. Obstacle course. Yeah. So I'm not done with this page yet. Still working on it. And this is the cover for it. It's going to be part of an anthology called Theater of Terror by Peaches Christ and Justin Hall and William O. Tyler, who's also over there somewhere in the back.
Nice. And where can you find all of these?
I have an Etsy page, and it's under Design Nerd, so it's like design and then N-U-R-D. Yeah, and you can find me on Instagram, Facebook, all over as Design Nerd.
Well, this is the wonderful world of Trans Cat. She is a transgender superhero. She's also a cat girl, and she's a nerd, and she's a good friend. And she has to balance all these things in one life, and she's only like 16 or maybe 18 or something. She really has a lot on her plate, but she's figuring it out, and she gets through with the power of kung fu, jokes, and just the wholesome relationships that she has with her friends. It's I wouldn't say it's an all ages comic, but it's something that I think people of any age could relate to.
Yeah, how many books are there?
Right now we only have 9 books. The 10th book is coming out, I think, in a month or 2. And Trans Cat's on Facebook, Patreon, all that stuff, Instagram, for anyone that wants to look for updates.
I see that the poster resembles the Rosie the Riveter. Is that the inspiration, or do you know?
Oh yeah, okay. So the artist Knave Murdok is very, very, she's a very eclectic nerd. She's been into stuff since she was a little girl, and she's used to work at a record store. She knows about so many different bands and so many different comics and so many different books and just creative things throughout the years. So she draws from these influences in all of her work. So for this poster, of course, she kind of went for the quintessential female empowerment picture, because that's a lot of what Trans Cat is about. Trans Cat is someone that normally in our real life is not treated very well, but in this comic, she's a hero.
I have autobiographical comics that tell the story of being a black genderqueer nerd and some of the funny things that happen when you present in a way that's unexpected, whether it's nerdy and black or not necessarily a traditional woman. I also do a lot of illustration around, particularly about black men and masculinity, exploring different ways that you can be a black man in the world. I've kind of been interested in exploring different masculinities, and I do a lot of, I'm an African American literature professor, so I'm really interested in racial representation. And my work uses both comics and illustration to explore.
That's very nice. Do you do all of it hand-drawn or digital?
I do. I'm a combination of both. I draw everything ink on paper, and then I scan it, and I use Photoshop to add color and and special effects.
So my name is Robin. The table's called FromRobin. It's actually my Instagram, FromRobin. And what I have here is like a bunch of delightful delights of illustrations. I did the majority of everything. A couple of these are my brother, Doodle Ron. And, yeah, that's pretty much it.
Nice. Where can you find these? Just on your Instagram page?
So most of these artwork, I posted them on Instagram. So they're right there.
Is there anything else you would like to add?
I think that's real. This is actually my first zine. I mean, my newest zine. It's actually a fan fiction of Batman and Robin, right there.
Very nice. So you're a DC fan?
I think so. Definitely am a fan of Batman and Robin.
My name is Lawrence Lindell. I make comic books about mental health, black people, and queerness.
How many books do you have? How many books do you have?
I would say between 10 to 12.
Oh yeah, but like
Nice. How long have you been an artist?
like the basis packet for I mean I changed it. I did like color edits and stuff like that. So.
My name is Breena Nuñez. I'm a cartoonist based out in Oakland, and I have my personal collection of mini comics and zines about Central American identity, Afro-Latinidad, and not always feeling like I quite fit it into what mainstream media portrays what Latinidad should be. And I just want to make space for like the socially awkward Central Americans.
It's very nice. What inspired you to start doing this?
Not seeing enough stories about people with experiences of Central Americanism here in the States. I'm like a 1.5 like generation Salvadoran Guatemalan person, and just want to shed more light on our experiences and our uniqueness here in the Bay Area.
It's very nice. Is there anything else you'd like to add?
I love being a cartoonist. I can't imagine myself being anything else.
My name is Nikki Rodriguez, and I'm actually representing Latino Comics Expo at the Queer Comics Expo this year. So I've got some of their material just to let everyone know about the convention and like how we represent Latino voices, mixed in with some of my own work where a lot of my zines and comics just deal with different aspects of identity. Usually just talking about like the Latino perspective and like experience, but also looking at like queer identity and like mental health issues.
It's very nice. How many zines have you made?
Over the past years, when I started like doing zine events and making zines, and I've got a total of 11 zines. Yeah, like, I just have like the promotional material, and then I have Jaime Hernandez's graphic novel for children, talking about Latin American folk tales.
And where can you find all of this stuff?
You can find all my stuff at actually Pegasus Books in downtown Berkeley. Also on my online store, it's an Etsy store that you can access through my website. And then you can actually get this at your public library or any bookstore at this point, but we also bring it to different Latino Comics Expos, either directly through Jaime or the Hernandez brothers, or just other artists who are representing Latino Comics Expo.
I'm Dave Davenport. I've got a bunch of comics I've worked on. They're mostly like adult gay erotic material, so I can't show you really. But I do a lot of work with monsters. Like my main character is a werewolf. This is a t-shirt of him. He's a gay werewolf, obviously.
Nice.
And there's a cast of characters involved in his stories, and I've been doing stories with him for about a dozen years now. And there's some other stuff I've done here too, but this is about a group of sex workers. I didn't write this one, I just illustrated it, which was a lot of fun to do. And this is again about the gay werewolf. And this one I wrote and drew. And William here drew a backup story in it for me. And
how long have you been a working artist?
All my life, but I've been doing comics for maybe 14, 15 years.
What was your inspiration?
Just always liked comics and always wanted to do them. And actually Justin Hall, who I'm sure everybody knows. He encouraged me to actually do something with it. He teaches at the college that has all these tables over here now. And he was actually my partner on this book. So I can blame him for my swerve into making comics.
Hi, my name is Yvonne Lee. I work under the name Akratic Behavior. My nickname is the Wontons, and I make zines.
Nice. From movies or from like your own stuff?
So I make a lot of perzines. Perzines, which is a conjunction of personal and zines. I tend to draw from personal life experiences and a lot of my childhood.
Where can you find these?
I have an Etsy shop that I'm reopening soon, so you'll find them on Etsy, and you can also find them at cons like these.
Nice. Is there anything else you'd like to add?
Tell your stories. If you want to tell your story, put it in a zine, nothing's stopping you. That's pretty much how I got started when my best friend told me, hey, you should try zines, and I did, and the rest is history.